It's home to the Queen of England, James Bond, and over 200 different nationalities.
And the centre of time, navigation, fish, and chips.
It's like a microcosm of the whole world.
With its mixture of history, culture, and cutting-edge fashions.
It's got to be the coolest capital on Earth.
You guessed it. We're in London! London, located in the southeast of England, is the 2,000-year-old capital of Britain. Jonathan Atherton and I, Megan McCormick, are going to take you on a journey through one of the world's great cities. London is divided by the River Thames, with the old City of London in the east, nightlife in the West End, the centre of government in Westminster, and enough parks to make it one of the greenest cities in the world. I know, it is a bit touristy, but honestly, there is no better way to get a sense of this vast city than by the London Eye. The London Eye was built to celebrate the new millennium and is the largest observation wheel in the world. At the top, you are 1.5 times as high as the Statue of Liberty. During the summer season, up to 23,000 people will ride the Eye every day. And on a clear day, you can see where London ends and the countryside begins. This view is phenomenal. I mean, look, you can watch the Thames as it winds its way through the city. And in the distance, you've got the Gherkin, you've got the original City of London, you've got St. Paul's Cathedral. Oh, it's great. I gotta get out there.
Decapitation, torture, blood and gore. In its 1,000-year history, it's been a jail, it's been a zoo. Now it houses the fabulous crown jewels. It's the Tower of London. And I've wanted to see this ever since I was a kid.
The Tower of London is probably the best-known tourist attraction in this country. Well, the Tower is still a royal palace and fortress, and of course it's the home of the crown jewels.
Ravens have been at the Tower of London since the 13th century, and legend has it that if they were ever to leave, a great disaster would befall England.
I'm going to feed them a bit of meat.
Hey, Larry.
No, she's a bit skittish. She doesn't like you.
She doesn't like me. Maybe she doesn't like Australians. Maybe it's that British reserve.
Yeah, probably. Larry. Stiff up a lip.
Stiff up a beak. Look what I got.
First things first, I gotta find me some place to stay. And along this road in West London, almost every building here is a hotel. So to stand out from the crowd, a place has gotta offer something a little special. This is the Pavilion Hotel, and it's on Sussex Gardens. And what makes it so unique is that whatever mood you're in, they have a room to match it. This is the War and Peace room for that military flavor. But if you're feeling a bit wild, there's the Cosmic Girl room. How you like my style? Oh, but if you're in the mood for something from the Far East, enter the Dragon. Yeah, this is the room for me. This is the honky-tonk Afro room. I mean, solid. Starting at $100 a night and areas downstairs for you to hang out in, this is certainly a unique way to hotel in London. My work here is done.
Well, we're at St James's Park, Trooping of the Colour. Beautiful day, but it could change. It changes every 2 minutes, doesn't it? Yeah, they've got those little capes on, though. It's sort of not as colourful as it should be.
Trooping of the Colour is a birthday present to the Queen from her Royal Guards. It takes place every year at St James's, and the ceremony dates back over 200 years to the reign of George II.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. That's the colours. That's what we came for.
These are the Houses of Parliament, and I've been invited for a tour by the Right Honourable Stephen Pound, Member of Parliament for the London seat of North Ealing.
Hello, sir. How are you? Oh, John,
Delighted to meet you. Welcome to the House of Commons.
Thank you.
Shall we go in?
Of course. Feel very official with you.
Well, these steep stairs represent the sovereign's entrance. This is where the monarch, at the present time the Queen, obviously, clambers up these stairs at the state opening of Parliament. And the Queen comes from Buckingham Palace, driven in the royal stagecoach, glittering and laden with gold and jewels, and comes through here where the crown awaits. Your Majesty.
Oh, thank you.
Right. Now then, have you got your sunglasses on?
Yes.
Here, come in here and just open your eyes and be dazzled. So you imagine the Queen coming through here, and it must be like, you know, sort of looking at the family album, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, there's great-granduncle, and there's grandfather, and which of course they are, they're her relatives. Here we are, the Queen is now approaching the House of Lords. We're just in the antechamber, and we've got this wonderful statue of Queen Victoria. I have to say, I think she was quite fit as a young lady. If you see what I mean. Right, and this is where the monarch officially opens Parliament. Now, the Queen doesn't come to the Commons come to the Queen. We commoners flood in here, you know, sort of polishing our shoes on the back of our trousers and straightening our ties and, you know, looking a bit respectful. And the Queen will then read the Queen's speech, which is a quaint tradition whereby she says basically what the programme of legislation for the next session of Parliament is. But of course it's written by the Prime Minister.
Right.
And so the Queen will say, you know, my government is going to ban fox hunting. And you know damn well she doesn't want to do it. No, she doesn't, but she has to read it. She then turns and goes back, and the rest of us
We go this
go
way.
straight through to the House of Commons.
This is your office.
Well, no, it's
more
not
or
actually
less.
my office. This is the dormitory. And this is the House of Commons chamber.
And this is where a whole lot of arguing goes on.
Well, no, constructive debate, we call it.
Constructive debate, of course.
I think you're right, actually. There's a whole lot of argument. The idea is that you try to convince people and change their mind by sort of force of eloquence and wit. Sometimes people will actually shout insults, and that insult can actually destroy a person, you know, with one word. A lot of it is sort of fairly rude and fairly offensive, I'm glad to say.
Excellent. It's a proud tradition.
Yeah. Bit of a bear pit, to be perfectly honest.
If you're visiting Parliament and have a little time, you have to cross the road and check out Westminster Abbey. Half national church and half museum, it's been the site of royal coronation since 1066. Many monarchs are buried here, as are some of Britain's greatest writers, poets, and military leaders. Today we're heading to the East End of London, where I'll visit the financial area, while Jonathan goes to Whitechapel in search of the traditional Cockney. But first, breakfast. I just don't understand why so many people disparage the English culinary tradition. I mean, they've got things that are good for you and cleverly named. You've got deep-fried fish and chips. You've got something called a toad in a hole. But today, I'm going to try the cornerstone of their nutritious diet, the full English breakfast. Good morning. Can I have the full Monty, please? The full English breakfast consists of a fried slice of bread, bubble and squeak, which is potatoes and cabbage fried black pudding, baked beans which are boiled, fried sausage, fried bacon, and of course, a fried egg.
Oh, thank you. Wow, this cannot be good for you. Right, where to begin?
The square mile that is the economic center of London is commonly referred to as the City. It is the richest financial market in Europe and is both the most ancient and the most modern area of London. It is here that the Romans first settled in 43 AD, calling their new town Londinium.
There's not much evidence of the Romans left in this area due to a particularly bad run of luck. There was the Great Fire of 1666, which destroyed nearly 4/5 of the city. And then again in the 1940s, it was practically flattened during the German bombing raids of World War II.
But London is a survivor, and much of the old grandeur is still apparent today. With many of its institutions dating back 500 years, they stand as proud symbols of old London.
You can see the city moving into the future with contemporary architecture juxtaposed to old buildings like this in these medieval streets. But one of my favorite buildings in London is this. It's the Lloyd's building. It was designed by Sir Richard Rogers, the British architect, and it is one of the most expensive per square foot ever built.
In 1976, construction started on this unique building. To maximize space, all of the inner workings, elevators, stairs, ventilation, and even toilets were put on the outside. Lloyd's originated in 1668 as a coffee shop where traders persuaded people of means to guarantee their cargo for a percentage of the profit. At its heart is a giant room where the brokers can see the underwriter's floor. It's 250 feet high with a dome roof. The god of risk management has its temple.
It actually seems really appropriate going to the East End by boat. Successive waves of immigrants arrived there at the docks, and that's where I'm going. Of course, they didn't have the benefit of these maps. I know exactly where I am, I think.
There are regular ferries and tour cruises along the River Thames, and these are a great way to see London sights without the traffic jams.
Cheers, mate. Well, I'm in the East End, which for me has always conjured up images of Jack the Ripper and notorious gangsters and happy-go-lucky cheeky chappies like this fellow here. But, this has been a melting pot for centuries. 17th century, it was French Protestants coming here escaping persecution in France. In the early 1900s, there was a wave of Jewish immigrants escaping the purges in Europe. The latest wave are the Asians who are stamping this place with their own identity. It's an amazing place, and it's got its own spirit. I can feel it already. But I want to find the quintessential Cockney. Know what I mean?
This market, well, it's a hub of the East End, and it's been here ever since I can remember.
So we're in the Cockney heartland.
We sure are.
To be a real Cockney, you need to be born within the sound of Bow Bells.
The old Spice Girls.
The sad thing is, it's a thing of the past.
Oh, no, don't get the breeze up, please up. I'm not going to let you go until you have some good old East End nosh.
Nosh, food.
Food.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to love this.
Jellied eels. Not like lollies, eels.
Get it down, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty not bad at all. OK, mate, I'll start talking like that then, know what I mean? I'll got some bottle.
See, it works, doesn't it?
No, how are you, girl? Actually, it's not good. That's awful. It's not even cooked.
Don't you like them?
It's raw.
Oh, you're braver than me.
You mean you don't eat it?
Never.
Another area of the East End that is a must to see is the Bangladeshi community at Brick Lane, famous for its vibrancy, curries, and Asian delicacies.
That's good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
With so much to see, we're returning to central London for a second day. Jonathan is going to the British Museum, while I head to St. Paul's Cathedral and try my hand at a little Shakespeare at the Globe before we both end our day in Soho. But first... England has always had a bad reputation for food, but these days London is considered the gastronomic capital of Europe due to the worldwide variety of tastes and flavors available here. If you want to sample them all, head to Borough Market, considered the best food market in London. Can I have some of your samples? Oh, could I just try that? And then that? Thank you.
French wine, entre deux mains.
Well, look at that puppy.
Guys, come down to the market, get some chocolates, and get your freak on, yeah? You can do it.
As the former capital of the British Empire, London's museums are crammed with treasures from all over the world.
This is the British Museum. It's one of the oldest museums in the world. It's one of London's most popular tourist attractions.
Yeah, these sculptures are just brilliant. They're called the Elgin marbles because they were taken from Greece in the early part of the 18th century by one Lord Elgin. Plundered, I suppose, if you like. But that's how it was in those days. Colonialists believed they could just take anything.
Now, of course, there's a bit of a controversy. The Greek people want them back, and who can blame them? They're an important part of their cultural heritage.
But there's two sides to the argument. You see, if they hadn't been taken in the first place, they probably wouldn't be preserved as they are today, and they wouldn't exist at all. So many people say, leave them here. I don't know what the answer is, but I know that they are just incredible. It's an awesome room, really.
This is St. Paul's Cathedral, and it was built in the late 1600s after the original cathedral was destroyed in the Great Fire. It was designed by Sir Christopher Wren, who spent 40 years of his life dedicated to this project, and it is truly a masterpiece. The current St. Paul's is the 5th cathedral since 604 AD that has stood on this spot overlooking the city of London. It serves as a reminder to the commercial center of the spirituality of life. Sir Christopher Wren is actually buried here, and I would expect, a grand monument or a tombstone dedicated to him, but actually there's just this very simple commemoration which says, "Dear reader, if you are looking for a memorial, look around you." This is London's newest bridge. It's called the Millennium Bridge, and it was built because this entire area is seeing such a resurgence. It connects you from St. Paul's Cathedral to the world's largest modern art gallery, the Tate Modern. It is pretty incredible, isn't it? But today, I fancy kind of something a little more old school.